Ghana, like many nations, has had to play catch-up with the internet, and by catch-up I mean trying to stop people from using it to be horrible to each other. Enter the Cybersecurity Act of 2020. Now I know, laws, boring, but this one's got teeth. It's got sections specifically dealing with some truly awful online behavior. This act is a big deal. It's not just about stopping hackers from stealing your passwords, though it does that too. It's about protecting people from being abused and exploited in the digital world. Because guess what? Hurting someone online is still hurting someone. Section 66 of this act goes after something called sexual extortion. You know, that charming little practice of threatening to release someone's private, often sexual images or videos unless they pay up or do what you want. It's basically blackmail with a side of deep shame. This section says, nope, not having it. It makes it crystal clear that threatening someone with their most intimate moments to extort them is a crime. And not just a slap on the wrist, don't do it again kind of crime. We're talking serious consequences. Here's where it gets real. The law doesn't just punish the act itself, but also the behind it. So if you're thinking about using someone's private images to harass them, to cause them emotional distress, or to get them to do something they don't want to do, think again. Because if you're caught, you could be looking at 10 to 25 years in prison. That's right, 10 to 25 years. That's longer than some people spend getting a PhD. Clearly Ghana isn't playing around with this. Section 4. Safeguarding privacy, Section 67 and non-consensual image sharing. Moving on to Section 67, we're talking about revenge porn. You know, that delightful little act of someone sharing intimate images or videos of another person without their consent. It's often done out of spite, anger, or just plain old cruelty. This section says, not on our watch. It makes it illegal to share these types of images or videos without the person's consent, even if they were originally shared willingly. Because once something is out there, it can be impossible to control. Section 5. Defining serious emotional distress and its implications. Now you might be thinking, what about if I just share it with one friend? No harm, right? Wrong. Section 67 also tackles the impact of this kind of sharing. It recognizes that sharing intimate images without consent can cause serious emotional distress. And if that distress is severe enough, you could be looking at 1 to 3 years in prison. Because even sharing with one person can have devastating consequences. Section 6. The importance of Sections 66 and 67. Protecting privacy and safety in the digital age. These sections of Ghana's Cybersecurity Act are a big deal. They're not just about punishing bad behavior. They're about sending a message. Your privacy matters, your safety matters. And in the digital age, we have to protect those things just as fiercely as we would in the physical world. So let this be a lesson to us all. Be kind online, be respectful, and for God's sake, don't be a jerk. Because you might just end up on the wrong side of the law, and nobody wants to spend a decade in prison because they thought it would be funny to share someone's nudes.